Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Transfer Talk. I'm Dia, and as always, I'm joined by Harvey from the Red and Blue site to talk all the latest transfer rumours related to Palace. So Harvey, let's get straight into it. The first rumour of the day, of the week, is Odsonne Edouard. He's a Celtic striker. Many clubs are linked with him. We've been linked with him in January. Reports are suggesting that Arsenal, Leicester and Palace are interested in signing the Celtic striker. But one issue, apparently they'll want around £30 million for him. And I don't think we can afford that right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think the price point is going to be an issue right now. Who knows what's going to happen in the next few months or so, and what sort of budget we're going to have to play with. Because as we all know, we haven't spent much in the last few windows. So there's a part of you that hopes there's a reserve of money there that's ready to be spent. But it remains to be seen, of course. Yeah, I think the similar way that we've set our price point on Zaha and players in the past. I think Celtic, he is their star man, star striker, top goal scorer in Scotland, and has scored crucial goals for them as well in Europe. I think he's very young. I think 20, 21 he is. So he's showing really promising signs, knocking on the door of a France call-up as well. So there's a range of factors for the price being that high, and I think he'd be a fantastic signing. He has the physical attributes for to be a good Premier League striker. And I think moving from Celtic to like a mid-table Premier League team is about his level. I don't think he's ready for a top move yet. So I think from Celtic to Palace isn't out of the question, that sort of move. In fact, I've got him on my football manager that I've been doing with Palace. I did sign him for Palace.
How's he doing?
He scored 3 in his first 5 games. So if that's anything to go off of, he should be a cracking signing if we do get him. But as you say, I think the price point will be tough, and he would probably be wanting big money, being at Celtic, being their main man. So good would be a good signing, but I can't see it happening at the moment.
Maybe, I'm just thinking about now, maybe if Wilf was to leave in this window as a potential replacement. And honestly, looking at, if you haven't seen him play, I would highly suggest to go on YouTube, watch highlights. I know highlights don't show the full picture, but he's a very good player. I would love to see him as Wilf's replacement if he was to ever leave. And £30 million is, if let's say we was about to get 50 million for Wilf, spending £30 million as a replacement on Edward, who's a very good player, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, and I think if we do sell Wilf in the upcoming window, the money would at least go towards a forward, a left winger, right winger, or a striker. I think that is the area they'll look to replace Wilf if they can't replace him like for like swap with a player. Then at least a forward or someone in those attacking areas. It wouldn't be a midfielder or anything like that you'd spend the Wilf money on. So it would make sense as well if Wilf does get sold, it would make sense to then go in for him, I think. And then have used the leftover money to get someone maybe like an Ollie Watkins or an Eze, to go on that wing. It could work out, but that's obviously going to be if everything falls into place. It's highly unlikely that will happen, but would be a good signing if we did get him.
Yeah, let's talk about the next player now. Kelechi Iheanacho at Leicester City, previously at Manchester City. Well, according to this report, it's suggesting that last summer, it does say last summer, that we made a £30 million bid for him, which was refused. But as I mentioned, Odsonne Edouard, he's linked with a move to Leicester as well. So there's a high chance that Leicester could get him and let go of Iheanacho. And it's suggesting that Palace are interested in signing him. So first and foremost, Iheanacho, he was quality at City. At Leicester, he probably hasn't had the game time that he wants. He wouldn't be a bad signing for Palace, and he's a more realistic one than Edwards. Let's say £10 million. That would be a fair price for a player of his calibre.
I think it'd be a good price, actually. Bearing in mind he's a Premier League striker who's a proven goal scorer. Maybe not consistently, but as you mentioned, he hasn't played consistently as a starting number 9. I do think that you're right. I think that a move to, for example, Edouard to Leicester is probably a better move for him. And if Leicester were to get rid of Iheanacho, that would free up a move for him. So Iheanacho, if he does leave in the summer, a team like Palace again would be a good move for him somewhere. I think we would start him. There's no doubt about that. I know Ayew's been on fire for us this season. Maybe you could see a change in formation. I doubt it with Roy to fit both of them in the same setup. We know Ayew likes to can play out wide, and he has played out wide this season. But Iheanacho, again, he offers something different. He's different to Ayew in the sense that he's a little bit more physical, quicker. Adds that pace up front that we are lacking right now. We don't have that pacey striker up front, and he is a finisher, left foot finisher as well. We've got Benteke, obviously, and who's completely different sort of striker. Wickham when he comes back from his loan, and Ayew, they're all different kinds of strikers to Iheanacho. So he offers something different, and I think that's important.
Yeah, we definitely need a striker, but leave down your comments down below. Out of them two, who would you rather prefer, and realistically, who do you see us signing? If it's Iheanacho, would you be happy with that? Let's move on to the next player. This is a centre-back, James Tarkowski from Burnley. Palace and Leicester, according to reports, are interested in him. Do we really, first of all, would he come to Palace? That's one thing. But he was linked with us when we were linked with a move for the manager, Sean Dyche, both of them to Palace, but it seems like it's popped up again. And second of all, do we need another centre-back right now when we have to prioritise a right-back and we talked about strikers? I don't really see it being a necessary position to fill. I might be wrong, but that's how I see it.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. I get your point now. I think that is, at this moment in time, it's probably not the sensible move for Palace right now. It's probably not the priority. That it's down the pecking order, let's put it that way, getting another centre-back in. But then again, if we are going to be looking with a vision to the future, we've spoken before in previous episodes about integrating youth, and Roy's spoken already about potentially having more youth, giving time to youth players when the season starts up again. If we're having that eye to the future, a younger centre-back who is in his prime right now, Tarkowski, England caps under his belt, would be a good signing in my opinion. I rate him quite highly. I think the way he's formed such a formidable partnership at centre-back with Ben Mee at Burnley and was crucial to them getting in the European spots, which in a couple of seasons ago, which is obviously where we are aiming long-term. To have a player that's done it at a club like Palace, who shouldn't be where they were at the time, that could be important, really important, and would be interesting to see. But as you mentioned, it's not a priority right now. But players obviously like Cahill, Sacco, who could be leaving, as we've mentioned already. There could be a number of centre backs leaving. So he'd be top of the list right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, and good names that you mentioned there, Cahill, of course, and Sacco. Well, Sacco, we don't know what's happening yet. He was rumoured to leave the club. Leon are interested. But with Cahill, he would be a very good replacement for Gary Cahill. But I don't see Cahill leaving right now. But I guess maybe in a season or two when Cahill, he's going to dip in form. He's not going to be this good for the rest of his life. He's gone past his prime, but he's still a very good footballer for us. Maybe once Cahill decides that he's going to leave or he's going to maybe have a not as important spot in a starting 11, then Tarkowski, he'll be a brilliant player for us, as you mentioned. But don't see that happening in this window, but weirder things have happened. So we'll see what happens with that one. He's been named a couple of times now. And the last player, Morgan Sanson. Of course, he's a attacking threat. And French league, they have a bit of uncertainty right now. So Marseille, they want to recoup 60 million euros this summer. First of all, Palace don't have 60 million euros to spend on anyone. Yeah, exactly. But I guess it's not 60 million purely on Morgan Sanson, because that would be ridiculous. But overall, they want to sell players, so they're open to offers. And Palace and West Ham, no surprise there, they're there, of course, have come sniffing once the player goes on the market. So, attacking player, a very good player, but right now, it really depends on the price. I need to know more about the price before I say yes or no. But they've clearly focused on the money aspect of things. He'll be good for Palace, but what do you think? Do we need another attacking midfielder right now?
No, this is one I definitely, out of the ones we mentioned, I definitely can't see happening. I think that he's a player who's been playing very well in the French league, has got probably ambitions higher than us, if we're being realistic. He should be playing, I think, for a team Europa League side. I think that's his level right now. as you mentioned, the price point, I think that's around the ballpark. That ballpark is, that figure's around that ballpark. And I think that, there's no chance we're going to be spending that sort of money on any player, even if we sell Wilf. So I don't think that it's realistic. And again, he's a more attacking-minded midfielder, and we haven't really had someone to, take that role behind the striker. I know we've slightly altered formation to two midfielders who are more box-to-box than one midfielder who's right behind the striker. But we haven't had someone who's nailed down that spot and been a starter since Puncheon, really. Maya's not really done it consistently enough. Arguably hasn't had the game time or played in his natural position enough. But, if we are going to change to that formation, that 4-2-3-1 formation, that's been very good for us in the past, we don't have someone who's really going to nail down that spot, that creative role behind the striker. So Sanson, I don't think, is the man to do it, purely because of the price point and the fact that I don't think moving to South Norwood is going to be an attractive proposition for him at the moment, the way he's playing and, his lifestyle right now. But definitely something we should look at is an attacking midfielder for the future.
You mentioned European football. We're only 4 points off European qualification spots. So,
yeah, I know.
But I don't know what's talking about. I don't know why West Ham are linked. Of course, you don't want to play in the Championship.
Well, West Ham, Leicester, we seem to be all linked for the same players.
West Ham, it seems like, exactly. West Ham are linked with him as well, which is weird. But yeah, as I said, it's not. I don't think they want 60 million for him, but of course they'll probably want around the region of 20 to 25 million, at least for a player of his caliber. But of course, we'll keep an eye out on that. And that's it for today. Leave down your comments down below. As always, it's been great interacting with you guys, and the response has been brilliant. We enjoy doing these videos. So yeah, make sure to leave down your comments on some of these transfers. Tarkowski, Sanson, Iheanacho. There's lots of players that we talked about today. Let us know your thoughts on them. And until next time, up the Palace.